Welcome to My Startup TV. I'm your host, Major Sunil Shetty. Today I have with me Jyotsna Kompalli, who's the founder of Event Needz, a startup that is into the space of event management. As we all know, events post-corona came back with a big bang, and today pretty much every other industry is looking at events. And there's a huge demand. There's a growing demand for event industry, especially be it a social event to corporate event. So let's try to understand what vision is of Jyotsna behind starting Events Needs. Jyotsna, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Sunil, for having me here.
Events Needs is all about. Just want to understand about who Jyotsna is and what got you into the entrepreneurship space.
I am basically an army child. My dad was in Indian Air Force. So, right from the childhood, the patriotism and the discipline is imbibed in my personality. And I am a KV student, did my MBA from OU campus in 2001. And I must say that God has prepared me from the day one of my career. I started my career with a startup, established its brand in AP and Telangana market for a medical equipment, and then followed by joining few other startups, handled their brand establishments, expansions, and I have seen how the startups actually, uh, from concept to execution, how they take up their journey. Post which I joined Bajaj Allianz Life Insurance Group Insurance for the entire state, and that is when my life actually changed.
What did the experience with Bajaj Allianz help you? I mean, what did it do to you?
Well, it did not help me as such, but it has challenged me. So I always wanted to be a professional. I did not want it. I mean, entrepreneurship was nowhere near my thought process. So I just wanted to have a professional career and go ahead, and probably in 10, 15 years, I wanted to be at a level of, heading a country or something like that. But in Bajaj Allianz, I had to put down my papers because of my maternity. I was forced to put on my papers. You can edit it if you feel that it is a little something which might not go well with the interview. But I am here to share my story. That's why I'm telling. So I had an ectopic pregnancy, which was a very close encounter, and post which I had a precious pregnancy for which I was put on hormone injections. And before they withdraw the hormone injections, they said you should go on a bed rest for 15 days. Despite being a performer, I was denied the medical leave, and then I was put under a lot of unnecessary stress, which made me put down my papers. And I felt that that's the end of my career. So while I was on my bed rest, I decided that this is not the full stop for my career, and I have to take the charge of what I want to be. So I cleared my Amphi and IRDA while I was on my bed rest. I delivered my son in the month of July, and I started my first company in September. So I'm talking about 2006. So I, having cleared Amphi and IRDA, I used to sell mutual funds. I had two telecallers, and I was the only salesperson. I used to go to, I don't know where all places I have gone to sell insurance and mutual funds. Slowly, that company evolved as a DSA for multiple banks, handling the business loans, personal loans, mortgages. That company has evolved as a private limited company now, and it's taking care of big ticket funding. Um, it's into working capital and project funding now. So that's been
So
taken care by
Jyotsna,
my husband.
so Jyotsna, as a firstly as a company, we ourselves have over 70% women employees, and personally coming from the armed forces background, we don't, we kind of support everything that is required for women employees to be, comfortably working in another organization. And very unfortunate that you had to be, you had to go through a forced leave when, when you needed the company more. The
Yes.
company kind of, decided to dump you. So that's very unfortunate. And I think that was 2006 you talked about. And today, with the
Yes.
new rules and regulations, I think a lot has changed. Organization cannot do that anymore, so which is a good sign. So what made you go from, from a financial company that you were running, selling mutual funds, raising big ticket fundings, to doing event management company?
So when my financial services company was floated, my husband also joined me. But it's a fact that husband and wife being in the same business, your business never ends in your office. It comes to every corner of your house. In the office we just work for 8 hours or at the max 9, but if you are partners, then you are working 24 by 7, right on front, in on your dining table, to your kitchen, to your bedroom, everywhere you are talking your business. So my son was very young, and I did not wanted to lose out his growing years. For me, I mean, when I was blessed with my pregnancy, that was the world to me. I mean, I did not think beyond my son, my family, and that stood the first place. And unfortunately, my father-in-law was paralyzed, and somebody needed to take care of the family front. So my husband joined my financial company. Both of us, we were forced to take up entrepreneurship. That was not our choice. But the moment we start our entrepreneurial journey, we realize that we have the power of actually influencing so many people and people's lives. We employed 40 people in my financial services company, and that gave us a lot of empowered feeling. But then, as I told you, that when you have a family to take care, somebody has to stand for your family as well. So that became me. That's when I told my husband that you take care of the business, I take care of the family. So 3 years I did not think beyond my family. Subah utke, I used to say, what do you want to eat? What are your requirements? And I was pretty happy. So that's when my husband saw me, because ours is a love marriage, and we had a courtship of 8 years before we got married. So he had seen me right before I got my MBA seat, and he's the only person, I must say, that he has seen me how I have evolved in profession as well as a homemaker. So then he said that, this is not what you are made for. So if you don't like finance, don't join this. I will take care of it. Do something which you love. So that's when I started a brand called Buds and Bites. So I was into making handmade flowers and chocolates, and I used to make beautiful choco floral arrangements. And I had employed, that was my first MSME registered company, which was into creative side. I love creativity, colors, and moments, and all these beautiful, sensitive part of people. So I had employed 40 housemates, and my house became my workshop, where I used to train them how to make flowers. And I had three outlets where I used to sell my handmade bouquets. It was amazing. So there, unlike any other bouquet company or anybody, we did a little extra, where instead of just ringing the bell and delivering the bouquet, what we did was we clicked their pictures, and it's a digital picture. It's not. I'm not spending any money. So I just clicked the picture of the receiver and emailed it to the sender. So that gesture added a lot of value to what I was doing. So, and there have been cases where the picture that we sent were the last pictures a son had received of his parents. So that has actually motivated me to go that extra mile and create happy moments for them. Slowly, that's how I got into events. So that was in 2009, 2010. So eventually, I started doing events for my clients, for my existing customers. So from small events like birthdays, kitties, to large scale weddings. And I thank all my customers who had given me that opportunity to handle their most precious moments. So that's how I got into events in 2010. So since 2010 to 2018, I did over close to 600 events of all kinds. So that has taught me a lot, because I was on the both sides of the table. While I was hiring vendors, I was also understanding the pain point of the customer, like what are their expectations, what are vendors expectations. Now after that, I decided that we need to do something bigger than just being an event manager, because being an event manager is not a business, it is a profession. So as long as we are going and meeting the clients, I am able to impress and I am able to showcase my vision or my concept to the customer. But if I'm not in a position to meet the clients, what happens to my client flow? And for every event that I source, I give employment, direct or indirect, to around 100 to 150 vendors. So due to okay, let me put it here again, that in 2018 I was diagnosed with tumors in my thyroid. So the doctor said that as of now it is not it is not malignant, but there are high chances that it can get converted to malignancy. So would you like to remove it or would you want to try? I said, enough, बहुत हो गया life में. I don't want to take any further chances. So I got my total thyroidectomy done, and there was a downtime of 1.5 year. That's when all my vendors who had invested in my concepts, my setups, so they started calling me and saying that, ma'am, आपने घर में बिठा दिया इतने महीनों से, we don't have bookings from you. That's when I thought that ऐसे तो नहीं चल सकता, this is not the business. So then I went to Hyderabad Central University for taking incubation for my concept. I wanted to integrate venues, just like Book My Shoka concept. I wanted to integrate real time venue booking on a tech platform. That's when I was incubated by Dr. Nandita Sethi. She said that you are limiting your scope. You have more than 15 years ka experience in events, and you can work on building a much bigger platform than just venues. Venues could be one part of it. That is when Event Needs was conceptualized. So I'm talking about 2018, 19. So I started working on the concept. We did a market research of 1 year. We spoke to more than 200 vendors when we wanted to work this concept. So they said that, ma'am, aap kariye, it's a good thing. Then it took me
So
1.5 year. I mean, COVID hit. So during that COVID, I got to work in a more focused way on my product. Uh, we built the entire MVP of the product. And after the first lockdown, in the month of December 2019, we launched our first APK. So I didn't have any published product, or I didn't have any website, nothing I had. I just had a concept and I had a APK. And even before the APK, we recruited close to 86 people. I mean, that was a time when all the companies were laying off. So we recruited people. So we recruited close to 86 people, and then we gave the APK and sent them to the market in January 2020. So I'm sorry, I think I am missing out the year. So 2020 December, we gave the APK. 2021 January, we gave it in the market. And within 1.5 month, we generated a revenue of 26 lakhs from the vendors without even having a product. Then there was a second lockdown, which had hit us very bad, very badly. So during that second lockdown, because my team size was close to 90, and we did not wanted to not pay them, because second lockdown was nobody's prediction. And the team who has joined us believing that we are going to build something big, we didn't wanted to desert them when their families needed a source of income. So whatever capital that I had preserved for my operations, 2 months ka lockdown, I had to melt down all of it. And that is when I realized that the team which believed, or who joined us when we gave them an opportunity, most of the team members were not, they did not join us because they wanted to have a journey with us, or I must say that they joined because they didn't have any other opportunities in the market. So जो मिल गया वो ले लिया. And जब there was a delay, obviously, because the market was closed, banks were closed, we were not able to mobilize funds from anywhere. So there was delays in paying salaries. That's when we realized the actual energy that we were betting on. So there were team members who called us up and who said that आपको business चलाना नहीं आता है, आपको you what kind of founder you are, blah 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 and all that. So once the lockdown was done, I sold my BMW, and we took back the funds that we gave deposit. I wanted to buy a house, so we gave 45 lakhs as a deposit for buying the property. We took that back. Second lockdown open होने के बाद में, we called each and every person of our team, and we settled their last rupee. We gave it to them, and we thanked them for the comments and the perspective that they have given us. But I am so glad that out of those 90 people, I still have around 10 people who said that, ma'am, we are standing with you because we believe in your vision, and we have seen how you have built and how you have not uh, ignored people even in the lockdown. So that 10 members team continued the journey from there on. But during the second lockdown, we evolved. We took our first pivot in the product. We built a product thinking that, this is an ideal scenario, that, I will build a product, I will have this revenue coming in. So it was a very dreamy and very ideal case when we started our first MVP. But after the second lockdown, we had taken two pivots. So we have taken two pivots from then, and in July 2022, we could finalize on what our revenue stream should be and how we want to scale this up. How uh, foolproof we can build this product. And I, being a non-tech co-founder, you ask me the struggles that I have faced in building a tech platform. So I used to believe every developer saying that, madam aisa karo वैसा करो, so इसमें इतना time लगता है and all that. So I understood a very hard way that having a tech co-founder in your team makes your life so simple if you are building a tech product. So even now I don't have a tech co-founder, but yes, I have learned to deal with the crisis, and to handle how to keep up with the timelines.
I understand, as a founder, as a fellow founder, these are journeys that are not easy, especially in the starting time when you're starting off, when you're building the business. But it's commendable that you took one of the things that the core values of a founder is to ensure that they deliver on everything that they promised to the team, and you did that with as you said, you sold your BMW and withdrew the advance and paid them. And also very touching point is that when he said you know you took picture while delivering the gifts, and that was in many cases, or at least in a few cases, where the last moments of the family members or the loved ones. That talks about the commitment or the involvement as a founder of yours in your vision. So coming to the next part, you know how are you different? How is your company or startup going to be different to all the other event management companies out there?
Firstly, ours is not an event management company. Uh, the products or the companies which are there in the market, they are either the listing platforms or they are focusing more only on weddings. So listing platforms, like the big names like Just and Sulekha and all, they have been in the market for 20 odd years now. And for that matter, platforms like WedMeGood or Weddings.in or any of the wedding related platforms, for all of them, they focus in listing the vendor, generating a customer's contact, and sharing to the vendors, and that's about it. So they don't know what is happening after the customer's number is shared, how many vendors are calling that customer, whether that customer has taken business or services from the vendor. They are not bothered about what is happening after the lead is closed. So the pain point of the customer remains same. First, answering multiple calls, repeating the same information to all the vendors who reach out to the customer. That's the biggest pain point of a customer. Second, once the deal is closed, now the customer, because events is an industry which is mostly unorganized and there are no MRPs. There is no price reference whatsoever for any product or a service. And there is no way that a customer can find out or refer back whether he is paying the price, whatever he is paying is high, low, or what is the right amount of money that he should be paying. That is the second. Third thing is, even after he gives advance, there is no assurance that his service or the product will be delivered the way he wanted. And he can't call back all these platforms and report that he did not get the service and he's facing this problem. So these are the three main pain points of the customers which are prevalent ever since those listing companies have been functional for last 20 years, but nobody has um, attempted to touch this pain point. Second one is for the vendors, where vendors anticipate that they will get good leads from the platforms, right? And they pay the listing fee. Not every vendor in the industry is rich enough to get a platinum listed position or a diamond listed position in any platform. So what we have done is we have come up with a pay as you model for the vendors. So they need not pay and subscribe. If they want to take an order or submit their bids, they can simply pay as less as 30 rupees per bid. That is one. Second thing is, none of the platforms are working on to remove the rush to reach the customer. So when a client's customer's contact number is given to the vendor, if there are 10 vendors who get the customer's contact number, all the 10 vendors are in a hurry to reach the customer. So I mean, the fear of missing out is prevalent in all the vendors. So on our platform, we have addressed that as well, where we broadcast the inquiry with a bid expiry date. So before that bid expiry date, vendors can submit their bids and all the submitted bids will be visible to the customer, and the customer will never get any single call from the vendor unless they opt for it. So the choice and the control is with the customer to keep up with their number privacy. And When they receive multiple bits, they already get the price reference of the requirement. The best part that we do for vendors is vendors get to see what are the quotations their competitors have quote for the requirement. So none of the platform as of now is providing media or a way where if I am an event planner, I don't know what the other event planner has quoted until and unless the customer shares it. So apart from all this, we are giving a 3 minute pitch video for every vendor because the clients don't give that kind of a time. Like I am fortunate that I'm speaking about my startup story to all of you. But how many vendors have anybody given an I might not have given 10 minutes time to every vendor who has tried to pitch his service to me. So on our platform, first time ever, a vendor can share his story and that story is a part of his profile page. So when a customer looks at a profile, he get to know who this vendor is and why he should be given a chance for his moment. So unlike any of the platforms, this is a revolutionary platform that we are building, um, which gives the vendors as well as customers the most and relevant connectivity and the choice.
Platform that is not only taking care of the needs of the vendors, also the customer, the end user. Finally, before I let you go, My Startup TV is a media platform which is dedicated to entrepreneurs like you, where we cover the stories, the journeys of entrepreneurs like you. What do you think about our media house?
Bringing the startup story to the public itself is amazing. It is because we don't know how many people are watching us, and we don't know what influence we would be creating in the young minds. Because if India has to become a 5 trillion economy, it's not going to happen overnight. And everybody has to make their contributions in startup TV. As such, you are, because I will not be reaching the customers or the viewers that you are already popular with, but you are bringing my story to them. And as I told that I wanted to go on a family way, but so many homemakers who are sitting, qualified homemakers, efficient homemakers who are sitting because they faced something in their life. So this story that you are creating and the way you are creating uh, definitely is bound to make impact. And I'm sure you must be having some success stories and you must have got some reviews as well. So if I was your viewer, then I would definitely give it up to you. And it's an amazing initiative that you have taken. And you are from armed forces, so you know that, reaching out to people across India, it's not easy. And creating some content which will influence the younger generations and motivate the people who want to do something in their lives, it is divine. So it's a great job that you are doing.
Thank you, Jyotsna. Thank you very much for being on our channel, and we hope to see you again in some of our shows. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to my Startup TV.